Anyway, that gives you an idea of what we're facing.
I like it, DP. I'm liking this. So perfect, so OEM.
DP, this thing feels heavy.
Welcome back to our formerly cheap STI, where we bought this car for 10,000 Canadian dollars thinking, what a deal, had a broken engine. We've now rebuilt it with forged pistons and it's no longer a cheap STI. So we're gonna take the next logical steps, and that is to make the rest of the car as nice as that fresh engine. Starting with dealing with this hot mess here. So we're gonna peel that off, give this car a full cut and polish, and then we're gonna move on to lots of other cosmetic upgrades as well as performance upgrades. So stay tuned, guys, because this is all the good stuff coming at you right now. PPF, or paint protection film, is of course designed to protect the paint on your car, but I have never seen PPF fail like this. This is pretty epic. I mean, there is water in this pocket here. If I give it a little jab here, yeah, you can see water coming out there. So the question is, we peeled a little section off here and we can see it's leaving behind a lot of adhesive, the glue that holds it down, and getting that off may be a pretty big challenge. So I don't think we've ever removed PPF like this before, have we, Pete? So
I don't think so.
We're gonna try heat. See if I've overdone it or underdone it. I might have overcooked it a little bit. See how it's all spider webby there? Yeah. Anyway, that gives you an idea of what we're facing. Well, that did not go well. We have a lot of glue left behind. It didn't seem to matter that much what temperature we filled it at.
It looks cool.
It does have that forged carbon look to it, but I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna spray it with Goo Gone now, or just an adhesive remover. I think this is 3M glue remover, actually. Let it soak for a few minutes and wipe it off. Let's see if we just come in with a shop towel like this. You can
Ooh, it's working.
work it in pretty good.
Look at that.
Picks it up pretty quickly. All right, well, the glue has been removed, and that really wasn't too difficult to process, but there's sort of a line that's kind of etched in the clear coat along here from where the PPF hit, and I had to really scrub pretty hard to get the dirt out, so there's a lot of swirl marks there, but a buff and polish will make all of that go away.
Wow, did this thing ever clean up nice? Holy smokes. The paint on this car is actually really, really good. We gave it the full Simonized treatment with a cut and polish, and then with a ceramic coat at the end. And some of you can go fight me in the comments, but I'm gonna say this dark blue pearl I think that's what it's called, is so much nicer than the World Rally Blue that everybody loves on these cars, because this thing just has so much nice like metallic lake in it, and the dark blue just pops in the sunlight. Once we get this car outside, you'll see what I mean, but to me, this is like peak Subaru color. And the car is back on the hoist as we are going to move on to doing a suspension overhaul. And the first thing that we're gonna start off with is the ball joint, because this is an unterrible car. There is some rust underneath there, and everything I've read and talked to Nam at NV Auto, he's told me that ball joint is a nightmare to remove. So let's see how this goes. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is remove our sway bar end link, and wow, that came off almost too easily. I don't know if this has been off or not, or if this is a good sign that we are not going to deal with an overly rust-bombed car here. Already, we have an issue here. The other side of the sway bar end link is so corroded that it is going to spin here. This is stage 1 of 3 for me in terms of rust busting. And before we get out the bolt buster, I do like to show this because a quick little oxy torch is pretty inexpensive usually, and it can get the job done in most cases. It's moving, it's tight. Oh, see?
Strip it?
CDP, of course I stripped it.
Oh no.
That's because just how she goes, you know? We're now on to stage 2 of my rust fight, and it's gonna be using the bolt buster. I'm gonna superheat that bolt. Tap it in with the hammer, and let's see what happens. Oh yeah, this one's moving. Moving better, but that sound is not great. Still puts up a fight.
Yeah, wow.
Even when you think it should just spin right off, it still battles.
It's still
on
flaming
fire,
hot, yeah.
but at least now we can like actually pull this end link out. So this is a good sign. Our cotter pin is not completely rotten and is actually going to be removed here. As you can see, it's a battle. Oh my goodness.
There it goes.
There it goes. Now let's see. Throw this on here. Woo! So check out our new maximum pry bar. This is a pretty neat unit, extendable, and has what is an adjustable head here. This is actually perfect for popping axles out. So if you ever need to go in and pop an axle, these pry bars are the way to go. But here, what I'm gonna try to do is see if I can remove the ball joint.
Oh wow.
Oh, there you go, look at that.
That worked amazing.
That popped that out pretty easy. Oh, CDP. This is the trouble. I knew we were gonna have ourselves a big issue here. Out comes a bolt buster one more time, and let's see what happens. I'm gonna do it the manual labor way here because I don't want to snap this bolt. And
Yep.
that heat.
He did it.
Yes, look at that. You can see it is just rusted solid there, so that's not a good sign. In the video I watched, the guy basically did that, pried on this, and it popped the ball joint out of the steering knuckle here. That, unfortunately for us, there's no chance. Big Chief is in the house here. This ball joint is about to feel the wrath. Nam did say you don't want to hammer this too far in because you can actually crack this, and that would be bad news, but I think we're there. It's coming. Woo. Now look at the rust that lives on this ball joint here. That is because of that split there. You just get a bunch of water in there and then corrosion sets in. So thankfully this wasn't all that bad. I will say, I thought it was gonna be a lot worse, but that's not terrible. And now you're probably wondering, why did I just wreck a perfectly good ball joint? And this is the reason we have a roll center adjusting ball joint from Hard Race, and you can see
the difference between it. So this amount right here is what is going to set our roll center back to factory spec when we lower this car. So these really are a must if you want to ensure that your car has proper suspension geometry after lowering it. Now you can imagine if I just stuffed that ball joint back in here, there is a metric ton of rust and we want to remove that. So I'm coming in with the wire wheel here. Let's see how much rust actually comes raining out of here. You guys ready? Oh my goodness. Look at how filthy that is. Oh, smoke. So I invested in these small little like drill wire brushes a while ago, and they do come in key right here. It does a great job of like cleaning this hole out. Same thing on this side, just clean all this out. I'm gonna fire in some fluid film here just to make sure that this does not rust again. New ball joint is in. I got a new bolt as well because why not at this point? And there you are. This vehicle, you know, even though it looks rusty, there's a lot of surface rust. At the core, it's still a really solid car.
And it is now time for one of the most fun and, dare I say, sexy upgrades you can make to your project car, and that is replacing the stock shock or strut in this case and spring combo with a full coilover setup like this. This is the new Fast Road Elite from Annex Suspension. This is their highest performing variant of their Fast Road Pro, which is their really like enthusiastic street use with light track duty use in mind. We've used these on a whole bunch of our project cars, as you would have seen in recent years. And we're always very impressed with the street ride comfort that these offer, as well as, you know, tons of performance upgrade as well. But we're really focused on ride comfort around here because the streets in Ontario are terrible. So for those of you out there in the Subaru world who have probably used a lot of the, you know, well-established brands in the Subaru world, we found driving lots of other people's Subarus and some of our own that they don't always ride that well. They're not really tuned for the kinds of street conditions that we have here and you may have in your area. So if you want a setup that is performance oriented but delivers really good ride quality, then we would encourage all of you Subaru guys to go and check out Annex Suspension and give them a try. Out back, you can see we installed our NX Fast Road Elites as well. And for those of you wondering, you can go to their website to see for yourself what the difference is between the Fast Road Pro and Fast Road Elite is. But the Elite is basically a step up from the Pro. including in the front an inverted monotube damper, which is stiffer and stronger, less deflection in it, which gives you better performance. You'll also notice that we installed this one blue arm here. This is of course a hard race arm, which has the hardened rubber bushing in it for less deflection at that pickup point. You can also see it's got a nice brace in it or a stiffener in it, so it is a stiffer arm than that stamped steel OE arm that it replaces. We did also order the lower control arm and upper control arm from our friends at stage4motorsports.com, which is our source for all things hard race. We're hoping they'll show up in time for us to include them in this build. And you'll also remember up front that we did the outer tie rod and the end links from Pro Series. Those are their OE Plus version.
Why? So stuck. Front bumper is off here, not because we are going to send it off to repaint, because it does need it. That being said, we just don't have the timeline for it. So I'm gonna show you how to make it look so much better than it is right now with a few new OEM replacement parts. So we're gonna start with these fog light and turn signal covers, and you can see they're just faded and really beat up, and the replacements from Subaru are actually quite affordable. I think these were like $40. But before we put these back on, there's a small little upgrade I wanna make in the light department. Here is the factory fog light. You can see, very, very trashed. And while I was thinking about the upgrade, I thought, you know what? Let's try to make the front end a little bit more discreet by blacking out the fog lights. And then for the turn signal, I also decided to make an upgrade here. And I have gone with an LED one that is also blacked out. Let's pop this new trim piece in here. Why doesn't it fit DP?
It's like going to the chiropractor. It's got to make that crack sound before
It's making it.
it's in there.
It's not in here, something's wrong here. Maybe my technique was off. Look at that,
Yeah.
So much better. Next up here is our lower grille. The new pieces are not that expensive, so I just decided to buy a new one. Click, click, click. We're in. Ooh, yeah. And in place of our USDM grill, we have the same year JDM grill. And you can see it is just a cleaner design. Like these large holes up here I didn't love. And this just is gonna make it look more streamlined and fancy looking, in my opinion. We always want the JDM stuff. That's the way to go. OEM JDM is the right way. However, we are now missing our STI badge. You'll soon see that I've decided to go with a blacked out look for a lot of this car, and this is our OEM STI badge. This is an aftermarket one. They aren't the same completely. So this one has this like nice little bracket that goes on the backside that bolts it onto the grill. This one does not. I have made the realization that this is not for, I think, a VA STI. It must be for an older grill because it doesn't fit up well around the back. I kind of had to MacGyver it to make it stick there. But I do like, as I said, I do like the cleaner look of it, so we're gonna leave it on here. Now, I did consider aftermarket lips, but after looking at everything, honestly, the OEM STI lip on this car is pretty damn near perfection in my opinion. STI always does it so well. So I just decided to get another one, and you can see the difference between our old one and the new one. Little battle scars here and there, but mainly the color is going to be a huge improvement. And as a bonus, it's gonna fit up like stock. I don't have to drill any other holes. This thing is just gonna bolt on and we are done. The OEM business is always the best. This lip fits up perfectly and they're using such a clever fastening system. So they have what is basically what looks like a riv nut here. This is called a well nut and it is rubber. And when you put the screw in, which by the way are supplied when with the front lip, and you start tightening this, what happens is it starts sucking it down and the rubber expands, as you can see, like that. And then it just like locks it in place. So this is quite a clever setup here. I've never seen this before where this is rubber and then like holds it in. This is one of my new favorite tools. I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of these, DP, next time we do a front lip.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good. And let's see our turn signals here. Those certainly are understated and they match the theme and just like darken everything out here. So I'm digging this, but you guys post in the comments, tell me what you guys think. So I am about to do a little dechroming here. Getting rid of this STI badge. There we go. It just needs the initial hit. There you go. Once it's off, goes off like that. And then what we got to do here is come in. I've got gloves on and just roll off the old tape here. Look how clean this is. And now in with our blacked out unit. Look at that, just pops in there. Stick it on and oof, I like it, DB. I'm liking this. Is this a real pink?
Yeah.
I know STI is supposed to be pink, but this one looks like it's a faded out.
It's a little salmon now, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's just how it comes from the factory or it's just 10 years of sun. I have a feeling, Dave. The glue here, this one's gonna be a different story, not like what we just dealt with there. It's coming off, but you can see this is, oof. Now, usually, ooh, DP, this is gonna cover up the old lines here. Maybe what I'll do is if I cut the foam perfectly down here. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Gloss black STI. In the back, we've decided to keep it pretty clean and just simply add a OEM rear splash guard. This is like a really nice OEM Plus build. I love the way these cars look. So to me, the aftermarket kind of can go a little bit too far. And these little small add-ons, I think really do just add a little bit of style while still keeping that OEM touch to it. This, of course, is a super easy install as well. We just have this like little splash guard that goes underneath here. And then this will bolt on like that. All right, let's see. So perfect, so OEM. I do quite like the OEM taillights on these cars and they are LED. However, what they don't do is they still have a turn signal that is an incandescent light bulb. And it is a little bit dated, but this company called Dynamics has made this plug and play harness that when you plug it in, changes your turn signal from the outside incandescent bulb to the LED one and makes it really look modern. So check that out. You can see how cooler that looks and just looks so much more modern. So now you can see both are equipped with that Dynamics harness, and I'll show you what happens when I push the brake pedal. So you can see it lights up just as it should, and now when I turn, you can see it still works like that. So kind of gives it a real good modern look in my opinion. And the upside actually is that harness you can splice into and use what was the turn signal bulb for a reverse light as well. When looking for a set of wheels for this car, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a long time to find something that I thought was pretty unique and really, really cool because a lot of guys run the same wheels on these cars, and no disrespect to that. I think that there are great options. However, I wanted something different, and we have a set of Volk Racing G025 wheels in this crazy dark amber clear color. And these things are forged and a perfect Subaru fitment at 18 by 9.5 plus 38. And I just think they're gonna look so cool on here. I don't think I've seen a Subaru with these on before. So let's get these mounted up. But before we do that, Dave's gotta tell you about what we chose for tires.
That's right, it should come as no surprise that we've wrapped these Sexy Rays wheels in Continental's Extreme Contact Sport O2s. This is a supremely capable, high-performance summer tire with outstanding wet performance and amazing dry grip as well. And it also provides surprisingly good ride quality for such a sporty tire. We went with a bit of an unusual spec. We went with a 245/40/18 rather than the more common 255/35/18. And that's for two reasons. We wanted a little bit more sidewall height for ride comfort on these terrible roads we have here in Ontario. We also wanted a bit of tire stretch to clear the stock fenders because this offset is fairly aggressive, as you'll see shortly.
Wow, man, oh man. Again, I think the choice on the wheels is perfect. Wheel fitment, tire size, just perfection on this car. I think we nailed the ride height too. And just refreshing the front end, this thing looks so much cleaner than it did when it got here. So there's one last thing we want to do before we take this thing for a test drive. If you've been living under a rock and don't know what a Cobb access port is, it is basically your go-to tuning solution for anything Subaru. They have other brands now, but for Subarus, these have been around for a super long time, and they allow you to tune your car with off-the-shelf maps, which is exactly what we're gonna do. But before that, I'm also gonna show you they have the ability to read trouble codes, and we do have a pesky code on this car. And well, let's see if it comes up again. Oh, no codes found, DP.
What?
This could be it. Real quick. Let's see if it clears our code here. No, that code's back on. Ah. Dang it. So we're gonna have to go chase that, but before we go doing that, I wanna do the fun stuff, and that is load a proper map into this car. And holy smokes, are there a lot of maps available. Look at how many there are here. So I am pretty confident we are gonna be going with the Stage 1 V400 Boost Select. And it's as easy as that. So once this reaches 100%, we will now have a Stage 1, which is basically like a 91 octane tune in here, which allows us to select the boost through the iDrive. And when we go for a drive, you can see this will work as basically a screen that gives us all the information we want, from like boost, knock, all the stuff you need to know when you're driving a Subaru, DP, right? Everybody
true.
needs to know that. So
Yeah.
I also opted for the window mount, as you can see up there, which I think is gonna be perfect. Again, right in the line of sight as you want when you're driving a Subaru. That starter relay check engine light got me, guys. It got me. We're gonna start off by looking for any ground cables or anything that if they're disconnected before we go deep dive into what possibly could be a chassis or engine harness issue. So we'll figure that out. I'm hoping it's just one of these grounds here that aren't connected properly, or maybe the starter starting to malfunction, which is causing that check engine light. I just don't want to go for a test drive here and then have more issues. Like last time we couldn't use the SI drive, I realized. So we need to figure this out before we take this car for a test drive. So I think I have found the culprit. I think it is a fuse. The fuse was not in the right spot. So NAM printed out this diagnostic procedure for our P0616 code. And what you're supposed to do is check resistance. And while I was looking at it, this showed the fuse holder between basically the ECU and the starter motor was in this 22 position. Then I went to look here and it looks like it was not in the right spot, or it was just like hanging out, one or the other. I don't know, but now I've popped it back in, and right now we have no codes found on our access port. So let's start this car up. And the check engine light is gone. She gone, everybody. So, man, that is an easy fix. I wish I hadn't, taken the intercooler off, not a big deal, but we're gonna put that all back together and then finally we can take this thing for a test drive. Why does this always happen? We're like prolonging this test drive, Dave, but we're getting there, We're solving things, check engine light is off, so that is a huge victory for us. This thing feels
peppy.
It feels way better than it did.
It does feel really good. It feels fast already.
I'm not even laying into it yet.
Yeah.
We still have some break-in miles to do on this thing, but that feels good.
It does feel good.
And we're on a smooth road here, the new shop.
Yeah, this is a really good road, actually. Yeah.
Is this going to be our new test bed here? I like this street, DP.
This is a nice road, I agree. And
this is so much better.
we can't really proclaim the NX Fast Road Elites as being superior on a rough road yet, because these aren't rough roads.
I know.
I'm sure we'll find one up the way here. But in the meantime, it rides very nicely on this relatively smooth road, and so still a little bit too loud.
Yeah, well, we're gonna fix that next time around.
We've got plans for that.
Next time around, but man, the car feels good.
Does.
It's tight.
Yeah.
Feels so much nicer than it did before.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
that's a good sign, and you can see just on like little cracks and
well, we got a railroad track here.
Oh boy,
actually, so
should I just go full send here,
Let's see
DP?
what happens, buddy. Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna go 60 kilometers an hour. Oh,
wow,
so smooth.
Really good. Why don't we hang a left here, BT,
There we go.
and see what we find?
Ooh. Feel that thing.
It's got some mid-range.
That's right.
It definitely feels like it's going to be a pretty quick car, and that's what always blows my mind with the Subaru guys is they all want 500 wheel.
Yes.
And having built our GR and like chased that 500 wheel number, but then on the street I would always turn it down to like the low boost tune, which was like I think 380 to 400 area.
Yeah.
And it was just perfect at that power level.
I know. Yes.
So
yes.
I don't know why guys obsess over that number.
I think what you really want to look at is your torque.
Yes.
Right? And with a small turbo like this thing just like, look at this, just like picks up here.
So quick to spool up.
That's 10 PSI. And like, that's full throttle there. That's 15 PSI.
Yeah.
And man, it feels so nice and smooth and linear. Like it does fall off at the top.
A little bit.
But with the Cobb tune, you've just got so much like mid-range, like feel that. You can just drive this car around. So do I think a turbo upgrade on this car would be good? Yeah, there's a lot of like really great turbos that bring mid-range and have a lot more top end, right?
Yeah.
So you don't lose it. You're not sacrificing a lot, but you go up to that like magic 350, wheel horsepower to 330 wheel horsepower number. Here's some bumps. Yeah. Feels good, man.
It does ride really well.
Real good.
There's no harshness in it. It's definitely soaking those bumps up quite well.
Yeah.
It still feels firm and sporty.
Yes.
But it's not harsh over those high-speed hits, which is what really, for me anyway, my biggest complaint with a lot of aftermarket setups is that over those high-speed bumps, it's very harsh and clashy.
Yeah.
And look at that, BT.
993.
Woo.
Cage. Oh, it's Carrera. No, that's not a real RS.
It's got to be a fake RS.
That can't be a real RS. If it is, we just saw some very rare 911 metal.
Yeah, some flat engine royalty. Right. Oh, another railroad track.
Boy, I was gonna send it a little.
Oh yeah, even there, it's pretty good over that.
Now it feels like I just want to drive this car in anger, but
it does have that feel. It does feel like you want to crash it.
And it is, like, you can feel it, man. It's just
super responsive.
Really this is what you love about Subarus, like the steering feel and the responsiveness of it is like, it's nice, man.
It does feel responsive.
People are gonna think we're crazy, but it feels good. Wow.
It does feel good.
I like it, DP, so.
And you know what, I know I was just bad talking how loud the exhaust is, and really for daily driving it's too loud, but for this kind of like short rip, it's kind of fun hearing the boxers.
Yeah, exactly. Sadly, we have run out of time, but man, a lot of progress has happened on this vehicle and I am loving it. The exterior looks amazing. However, in the next episode, we're gonna get into some power mods that I think we can try to crank this thing up and really make it peppy on that stock turbo. So you guys will have to stay tuned for that one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.